My arranged marriage husband, John, whom I've never met, wants to divorce me. When I refused out of convenience, he laid his cards on the table, nearly pleading. I've been in love with a woman for 10 years. Our fake marriage was meant to deceive our parents so I could pursue her with clean hands someday. Now that I'm finally ready, I'm begging you to help me. I'll never love you or make this marriage real. I'll give you $50 million in compensation. And that A-list celebrity you're obsessed with? I'll make sure he marries you willingly. Seduced by money and fame, I agreed to return home for the divorce. Then my personal Facebook pinged with a friend request. Hi. I'm John, your high school classmate. John's mother, Mary, was formidable. After one meeting with my father, who'd always treated me as his precious jewel, she secured our engagement. On our first date, only his secretary showed up. Turns out Mary arranged the marriage behind his back. He proposed a business-like contract, fake marriage to appease our parents. Annual payment of $10 million. Renewable yearly. Since I didn't know him and feared worse arranged matches, I signed. For 8 months. We only communicated through his secretary. Now he's adding my work Facebook. His profile shows his full name, Corporate Crisp, but the avatar's a fluffy ragdoll cat eerily resembling the stray I fed throughout high school. I'd tried adopting it after graduation, but it vanished. Zooming in, I confirm it's not the same cat before accepting. John reintroduces himself, Ivy. I need to terminate our contract early. When can you return to finalize this? Baffled, I reply, we never legally married. Why meet? He responds instantly, my mother insists we divorce in person. Also, we need signed dissolution documents to prevent future complications. Complications? Is he worried I'll cling to him? The arrogance. Flying is exhausting, I don't want to come back. If you're worried I'll pester you. Send the contract over. I'll sign it and mail it back. John, but if you don't return, my mother Mary won't agree to us separating. Also, the termination agreement isn't about fearing your persistence, it's to avoid misunderstandings with the woman I love. She can't think we had something real. I paused. Surprised you're in love with someone? To convince me, John laid everything bare. Almost pleading, yes. I've loved her secretly for 10 years. Without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. She matters more to me than life itself. I only entered this sham marriage with you to someday pursue her with a clean slate. Now that I'm finally ready, I'm begging you, help me. I could never love you or make this marriage real. I'll give you $50 million for breaching our contract early, compensation for emotional distress. Also, Secretary Chin mentioned you're obsessed with singer Ryan. If you want, I'll make sure he marries you willingly. Per contract. He only owed me $20 million. Yet he offered $50 million up front. And my favorite celebrity as a bonus? What a saint. I asked excitedly, you'll really give me $50 million and make Ryan marry me? John, I swear. If I lie, I'm a dog. Ivy, you being a dog doesn't benefit me. John, then let my punishment be never winning the woman I love. He'd staked his decade-long crush as collateral. Damn. Now I'm sold, fine. I'll fly back tomorrow. John sounded relieved. Need me to send someone to the airport? Feeling playful, I teased, sending lackeys? How about you come personally? After a long typing pause, he replied, fine. Send your flight details after booking. Didn't expect him to agree. But sooner we meet, sooner this ends. No room for complications. After forwarding my ticket to John, I blocked my parents and updated my private Facebook, returning tomorrow. Anyone free? BRB, restroom break. Dozens of notifications popped up instantly. Simultaneously. John sent a friend request to this private account. Hi. I'm John, your high school alumnus. Staring at the message, My mind flooded with questions. John went to my high school? How do I not remember him? And why is he adding this account when we're already connected elsewhere? Did someone screenshot my anyone free post to him? That free probably sounded like I'm shopping for affairs. Our fake marriage contract forbids both parties from acts of infidelity during the term. I groaned at my own carelessness. I immediately set that WeChat post to private. Of course. I didn't accept John's friend request either. My father's a nationally renowned entrepreneur. To avoid kidnapping threats during my school years, I never used my legal name Ivy Peter. Instead, I took my mother's surname, going by Ivy. Only our immediate family knew this. Similarly, I maintain separate Facebook accounts and phone numbers for personal and professional use, the former for close friends and relatives, the latter for colleagues and unimportant contacts. Given John's current standing with me, he only deserved my work contact. Fortunately, John took the hint. When I didn't accept his request, he didn't send another. The next noon, I arrived punctually at the domestic airport, calling John to meet me at arrivals. He hung up. His message popped up, "Sorry. I just spotted the girl I like here. Don't want her misunderstanding us. Take a cab, I'll reimburse you." A 10,000 yuan transfer followed. Money? This was about my pride. How could a CEO break promises so casually? Fuming, I typed, "You like her that much? What if she rejects you but demands you pursue me instead? Even marry me?" John seemed to seriously consider this before replying, "She's the only one. If she forced me to marry you, I'd rather die than comply." Me? Was this his grand romance or my utter undesirability? That he'd choose death over marrying me? As someone who'd never been rejected by men before. His words stabbed my pride. Taking deep breaths, I pocketed my phone. Pushing my luggage through the terminal, I scanned the crowd for that jerk. Unexpectedly, my gaze locked with intense dark eyes. Their owner wore a classic black and white suit, towering with broad shoulders and a tapered waist. His sculpted features looked like Michelangelo's masterpiece, drawing stares from passing girls who blushed merely glancing at him. Though accustomed to handsome men, I'd never seen someone this strikingly gorgeous. Meeting his gaze boldly, I noticed his ears redden within 5 seconds before he glanced away. He kept stealing glances, only to fluster each time our eyes met again. TSK. I smirked. Since when did such easily flustered heartthrobs exist? And he had this irresistibly charming face that screamed dominance. Yet he was making this puppy dog expression only an adorable guy would pull off. The contrast was seriously doing it for me. Suddenly, I wondered, was he actually into me? If I walked over, would he dare ask for my number? But then I remembered that godforsaken fake husband of mine. Who knew where that jerk was hiding? Probably watching me with his precious dream girl somewhere. I sighed. Whatever. Not worth it. As I turned to leave, I caught the hot guy's intense stare through the airport glass. Curiosity got the better of me. I pivoted sharply and marched toward him. But get this, the moment I got close, his eyes went wide, fingers trembling like autumn leaves. He looked equal parts thrilled and terrified before bolting away like I carried the plague. Me? Scary? Please. Guess he's just not interested. Chuckling bitterly, I hailed a cab. My phone buzzed. "John, let's terminate the contract ASAP. Meet my mother tonight?" Me? Fine. He sent a document, review the termination terms. Add revisions if needed. The clauses included his $50 million payout promise and that ridiculous arrangement about helping me marry Ryan. John had even emphasized we'd never been intimate and felt zero attraction. Post-termination, neither could contact the other. Violators owed $50 million in emotional damages. Pathetic. Clearly terrified I'd chase him, yet framing it as mutual restraint. His utter disdain made me hate him more. Let's end this farce faster. Me, terms accepted. Pick me up at Bayview Villa in 2 hours. John, we'll tell Mom we're incompatible and don't want to waste each other's time. Me, whatever narrative works for you. Bayview Villa was my 18th birthday gift from Dad. I stayed here partly because Dad admired John and would flip about the divorce. And partly because my neighbor Emily promised something special tonight. I deep conditioned my hair, did a full glam makeup, and slipped into this knockout emerald slip dress. John's condescension fueled me, tonight. I'd make him regret losing this walking bombshell. The joke was on me. When I texted, he'd already been idling outside the gates for 20 minutes. But it was rush hour, with cars and people crowding the neighborhood entrance. When I tried asking which vehicle was his, I spotted John Wilson, the handsome guy from the airport this morning, sitting in a black Maybach parked roadside. His elegant hand extended through the car window, a Patek Philippe watch gleaming silver on his wrist under the sunset, its brilliance accentuating his striking presence. Long fingers held a cigarette between them. He took a drag before tapping ashes outside the window. The pronounced veins on his hand pulsed rhythmically with each movement, creating an inexplicably captivating sight. Though I appreciated the view, remembering how terrified he'd seemed of me earlier killed any interest in approaching him. I texted John, "I'm at the gate. Which car are you in?" While waiting for his reply, I noticed John glance at his phone before leaning out the window to scan the area. His gaze suddenly locked with mine, freezing us in a moment where honking cars and chattering pedestrians faded into white noise. My entire focus narrowed to his eyes shifting from surprise to delight, then flustered panic before settling into tense intensity. Before I could process why he kept looking at me so strangely, Emily pulled up beside me, rolling down her window. She beamed. "Did you come out specifically to meet me?" "Aw, no. I have something to do." "What's up?" Our marriage had been kept between families per John's request. Now that we're divorcing, there's even less reason to discuss it. I smiled vaguely, "Just personal matters. Cancel it if it's not urgent." The surprise is my friends are hosting a party tonight. Ryan's coming. "I'm taking you." My eyes lit up. "Seriously?" "Dead serious. Top-tier celebrities like Ryan are near impossible to meet even if you throw money. Ending things with John can wait one more night." I got into Emily's car and texted John, "Something urgent came up. Let's visit your mom tomorrow." His reply came unexpectedly fast. Almost relieved, "Fine. But you won't bail again tomorrow, will you? I'm really anxious to finalize this. Otherwise I can't even greet her properly." Baffled, I quoted his own words back, "Those aren't mutually exclusive. Greet her if you want. John, our divorce might leak. I won't risk her being labeled a homewrecker while we're still legally married." So this was how carefully one could cherish another person. Sighing, I admitted, "I can't promise tomorrow's clear. But since I'm back stateside, we'll definitely terminate the agreement." "John? What's that supposed to mean? Are you changing your mind?" His impatience and anxiety bled through the screen. I chuckled wryly, thinking Emily would still be at home doing her makeup and changing clothes. I said, "If you can guarantee an hour with your mom to convince her to let me leave, I'll go to your place right now. If not, I'll definitely come tomorrow. I swear." John seemed convinced. He even chatted amiably, "An hour probably isn't enough. Let's make it tomorrow. I've got plans tonight anyway." I sent an okay to end the conversation. 2 hours later, Emily took me to the most exclusive club in town. As the private room door swung open, my heart raced while instinctively searching for the center seat. To my surprise, Ryan wasn't occupying the prime spot. That Maybach driving hottie from earlier sat there instead. Under the crystal chandeliers, he lounged on the sofa with crossed legs, radiating aristocratic dominance. Clearly the alpha of the room. I froze. Seriously? 3 encounters in one day? What kind of twisted fate is this? Our eyes met as he glanced toward the entrance. The moment he recognized me, his entire demeanor shifted. Those long legs uncrossed. Hands settled primly on knees. Posture straightening like an honor student desperate for teacher's approval, transforming from mafia heir to choir boy in milliseconds. But my attention instantly snapped to Ryan sitting at his right. Back when I first struggled with English lectures abroad, too ashamed to tell my parents, Ryan's music became my lifeline. His voice poured over my frayed nerves like spiked hot chocolate on winter nights. I'd replay his tracks endlessly while studying those impossible lecture recordings until everything clicked. My grateful smile met Ryan's warm one. Holy crap! My idol's actually smiling at me. My pulse skyrocketed. Dizzy with fangirl euphoria, Emily dragged me inside, announcing to the group with showman flair, "Ivy's your biggest fan." "Ryan! Your face dominates her phone lock screen. Your songs flood her playlists. She campaigns for every chart battle." Remember when she spammed our group chat with red envelopes for 3 days straight after scoring front row concert tickets? Mortification burned my cheeks as she exposed my obsession. Ryan chuckled softly, "Thanks for the support. Can we take a selfie?" I blurted, star-struck. "Absolutely." I fumbled with my phone, grinning like an idiot at our reflection. But I couldn't snap the shot. The Maybach guy had leaned into frame behind Ryan. Jaw clenched. Stormy eyes locked on me. He sat rigid as a marble statue with all the cheerful warmth of a jilted prom date. Though I tried to keep my composure, the heavy atmosphere around me betrayed how utterly shattered I felt. I couldn't be bothered with John's obvious distress, though I felt too awkward to ask him to move away. Adjusting my phone for better framing, I noticed John typing furiously on his device, the violent tapping making it seem like he wanted to smash the screen. "Could I hear you sing again?" I asked Ryan greedily after our photo session, emboldened by his approachable demeanor. "Of course. Any particular song?" Ryan had barely finished speaking when his phone rang, signaling for me to wait. He answered with visible irritation. After hanging up, he schooled his expression and addressed John with deference. "Mr. Wilson, about that movie theme song collaboration we discussed earlier, I'm truly invested. But I need to handle an urgent matter. Could we continue this conversation later?" John gave a non-committal hum, his deep voice unexpectedly pleasant. As Ryan said his goodbyes, he noticed my lingering gaze. Walking past me, he slipped something into my Hermes bag and whispered conspiratorially, "Open this privately if you're interested. Come find me later." My pulse raced with curiosity, but Emily mistook my restlessness. "Don't even think about leaving now that Ryan's gone," she warned, gripping my wrist. "Every single person here's a top-tier professional." Leaning closer, she added in hushed excitement, "Especially John beside you, current head of Wilson Group. Wealthy, gorgeous, and powerful beyond measure." "What did you say his name was?" My breath caught. "John Wilson." "Why? Finally interested?" Emily teased, spelling out the 3 syllables I knew too well. My ears rang as disbelief washed over me. Waiting until she turned away, I messaged John's secretary on Facebook, "Send me your boss's front-facing photo. Now." "For what purpose?" came the guarded reply. "My father wants to see it." "Hurry up." The secretary immediately sent a photo of John in a crisp white shirt, his faint smile and commanding posture unmistakably matching the man beside me, my sham husband. The airport incident suddenly made sense. He hadn't fled from me, but to avoid misunderstandings with whoever he truly loved. A mischievous smile curved my lips as I turned to study John's profile. He stiffened under my gaze, eyes fixed straight ahead with nervous tension. What was he so anxious about when his crush wasn't even here? Remembering how he'd abandoned me at the airport and looked down on me, I decided to mess with him. I shifted closer until the emerald silk of my dress pressed against his black trousers, the fabrics clinging like lovers entwined. John glanced down, immediately shifting his leg away as though facing imminent danger, putting clear distance between us on the couch. I refused to relent, scooting closer until our thighs pressed together through his tailored suit pants. His muscles tensed visibly, ears flushing crimson as he retreated further. He planted his large hand firmly on the cushion between us like a barrier. Only later did I learn the entire room had been holding its breath. The Wilson heir was legendary for his ruthless business tactics, icy demeanor, and notorious aversion to women's advances. Those who tried seducing him before had their careers and reputations shredded. Oblivious, I considered placing my hand over his before deciding I'd rather die than let him think I enjoyed this. "John," I cooed, batting my lashes with saccharine sweetness. "Would you like me to pour your drink?" My own skin crawled hearing the breathy falsetto. His jaw clenched, nostrils flaring with each measured breath. The angrier he got, the brighter my smile became. His gaze turned stormy, lips twitching between forced politeness and barely restrained fury. "More wine?" I trilled, amping up the lovesick schoolgirl act until his Adam's apple bobbed furiously. When he finally gritted out no, "Thank you," I nearly laughed at his strained civility. Time to escalate. Fluttering my lashes, I whispered huskily, "Then perhaps you'd like to take me home tonight?" This served dual purposes, either securing tomorrow's planned meeting at his place early, or watching the unflappable tycoon squirm. Before he could respond, shattering glass interrupted us. A stunned investor stood amidst broken crystal, stammering excuses as he fled. Later I'd realized the crowd had anticipated John eviscerating me on the spot. But for now, I savored the dangerous thrill of being the first woman to crack the untouchable billionaire's composure. So she wanted to cut ties and escape the drama. The moment that handsome guy left, others quickly made excuses to follow him out. Emily tugged my arm closer, whispering in my ear, "Holy shit. You're going nuclear." I murmured reassurance, "Relax. John and I go way back. Why don't you wait outside? I'll sort this out with him and catch up." I needed to discuss the divorce with John. "Fine. But watch yourself," Emily warned. "My dad says John might look like some harmless pretty boy, but he's vindictive as hell under that charming facade. Not someone to mess with." She left after the caution. The glittering private room held only John and me now. He seemed torn about staying but ultimately lingered, clearing his throat with forced concern. "Ivy, are you in some kind of trouble?" "Trouble?" My voice dropped its act. "No trouble. Should I come to your place tonight?" John froze, those fox-like eyes darkening with confusion. His Adam's apple bobbed. "Why would you want that?" "To meet Mary and discuss our divorce. Obviously." But before I could explain, he added, "My home's off limits. If you need lodging, I'll book you a hotel." Since when did I seem homeless? He'd literally been at my penthouse this afternoon. And wasn't this the same man who'd avoided me like plague? Why the sudden concern? Testing my wild suspicion, I probed, "You know my other names besides Ivy, right?" His brow furrowed. "There are others?" Bingo. He didn't recognize me as his sham wife. Time to string him along. "You can call me Chubby Ivy," I teased, propping my chin on both fists with deliberate mischief. "Since everyone says I'm plump." Pink bloomed across John's cheekbones. His fingers twitched as he leaned closer, voice deepening with conviction. "You're not chubby. You look a swallow. Radiant." Excuse me? Was this the same man pining for his decade-long crush? Granted, my cocktail dress and smoky eye could make saints sin, but his whiplash from avoidance to thirst was ridiculous. Disgust must have shown because John suddenly backpedaled. "This isn't appropriate." "Let me." He fumbled for his phone. "Add me on Facebook. Contact me anytime you need help." Unbelievable. You want my Facebook? If we get to know each other a few more days, will you try to take my clothes off next? What a player. I couldn't resist messing with him, pretending to hesitate. Sorry. My husband doesn't allow me to give other men my contact info. John froze as if someone had hit pause. His eyes locked on me, body rigid, breath suspended. His reaction startled me. We'd only met hours ago. Why did he look so devastated? Worried he might suffocate himself. I waved a hand before his eyes. Hey. You okay? Those thick lashes fluttered slowly as moisture pooled in his gaze. Faint pink tinting his eyelids. His hands clenched into white-knuckled fists at his sides. Still refusing to accept reality, he forced a strained smile. Voice hoarse. I never heard you were married. I stared coldly at this architect of my misery. Because his heart belonged to another woman, he'd forbidden me from publicly acknowledging our marriage. John jolted, aristocratic composure shattering, breathing like a dockworker after a brawl. He snarled through gritted teeth, that worthless bastard. How dare he treat you like this? I'll gild the motherfucker with a butcher knife. Destroy every last asset. Grind his bones to dust. I pressed a hand to my forehead, stealing a glance at his crotch. Only by recalling every tragedy known to mankind did I avoid bursting into laughter. Remembering his infamous ruthless reputation, I decided to clarify things before he could retaliate for my deception. Actually, we never filed the marriage license. He denied you even that basic protection? John's voice cracked with fury and anguish. I bit my lower lip hard enough to draw blood, struggling to maintain composure. That makes him 10 times more deserving of death. Well, he did give me money. John's jaw muscles bulged. So the bastard thinks throwing cash around justifies humiliating you? I'll bankrupt the son of a bitch. Obliterate any chance of recovery. After castration and dismemberment. Of course. Holy shit, he's planning to annihilate himself Japanese war crime style. I buried my face in my knees, shoulders shaking uncontrollably, mistaking my suppressed laughter for sobs. John gentled his tone. Don't cry. I'll make this right for you. Okay. I wheezed into my denim-clad thighs. I did give him chances. But he's just not up to the task. I lifted my head. Thank you. You're the first man who's ever treated me this well. Then feigned concern, but what if you break your promise? John's dark eyes gazed at me intensely. Ivy. I'd rather die than break my word to you. I froze. Damn. I almost fell for this horndog's act. In the car, Emily asked curiously, what were you and John talking about for so long? Nothing. Just messing with a puppy. I chuckled while opening my bag. When I pulled out Ryan's gift, my smile died instantly. Heart pounding. I examined both sides of the card repeatedly. Holy hell! It was a hotel keycard. Emily saw it too. Why do you have a room key? Did you book a hotel? I desperately wished she'd give me different answers. Ryan gave me this. He said, if I was interested, I should go find him. The car screeched to a sudden stop. He wants to sleep with you? Emily gasped. Ugh. Exactly what I feared. That disgusting creep. Emily slammed the steering wheel. Not content with taking your money. Now he wants to. This was the idol I'd spent 6 years worshipping, pouring my heart and savings into. My throat tightened. Maybe we're misunderstanding? What if he just wants to sing for me privately? Damn. Even I didn't believe that. Fine. I'll confront him. If he tries anything, I'll buy trending hashtags to expose him. I'm coming with you. But what if he drugs you before you can call for help? Her warning chilled me. Yet if Ryan was truly this predatory, we had to stop him before more fans got hurt. We headed for the hotel while I checked navigation. A Facebook notification popped up. John had messaged 30 minutes ago. Ivy. Basic human decency compels me to ask, since Ryan has character issues. Do you still want me to arrange your marriage to him? Reply if you want this clause removed from the termination contract. How the hell did John know about Ryan's problems? Emily suddenly shrieked, OMG. Ryan's trending for sleeping with fans and tax evasion. Look! I switched apps in disbelief. The entire hot search list had been replaced by explosive allegations against Ryan. Well, Emily exhaled. Guess we don't need to risk our necks investigating now. But wow, these detailed receipts appearing out of nowhere? Who'd he piss off? Some tycoon's mistress? Too heartsick to join her speculation. I went straight home to purge every Ryan-related item from my life. I worked until 3 a.m. and didn't wake up until 1 p.m. the next afternoon. John had sent me dozens of messages and over a dozen calls. They mostly asked why I wasn't replying and if I'd changed my mind about terminating our contract. Seriously? I needed to see how he'd fulfill his promise to cut off his own parts and end himself when we met. I texted back to meet at his place. I arrived exactly on time. But he got stuck in traffic and told me to wait inside. I refused to be alone with his formidable mother. Sitting on the bench across from his house. I was playing mobile games when someone approached. Ivy! Why are you sitting here? I looked up to see an elegant woman in an ecru cheongsam. Her kind eyes and graceful demeanor mirrored John's perfectly. This had to be Mary. Stumbling over formalities, Mrs. Wilson felt stiff but Mom was unthinkable. I settled for a polite smile. I'm waiting for John here. Why wait? Come home with me. He'll be here soon. Your cat's waiting at home too. My cat? Since when did I own a cat? Intrigued and disarmed by Mary's gentle manner, nothing like the dragon lady I'd imagined, I followed her inside. She handed me fluffy pink pig slippers that fit perfectly. Clearly chosen with care. Ivy? I answered automatically. She was calling the cat. A cream-colored ragdoll sauntered over. My face burned. Want to hold her? Mary cradled the purring fluff ball. As I stroked the silky fur, I asked. Her name's Ivy? Mary sighed. John's severely allergic. He kept taking antihistamines while sneezing himself raw. I tried rehoming her once. But he exploded and brought her back. Forbade me from interfering ever since. Her fingers traced the cat's ears. I never understood his obsession, until now. Until I accidentally saw his phone filled with photos of you feeding the stray cat. Only then did I realize he developed feelings for you first. And extended that affection to the feline. My eyes widened in shock. He truly adored you, even preserving your old exam papers and candy wrappers like sacred relics. I can't comprehend why you'd want a divorce. Whatever he did to hurt you, could you find it in your heart to give him another chance? I'm terrified he'll regret the separation and spiral into depression. Mary's voice trembled. Tears glistening. My mind reeled. Was John's beloved muse truly me? How could I remain oblivious to years of devotion? I studied the ragdoll cat skeptically. After 6 years, all fluffy white cats looked identical. Those stories you mentioned, I hesitated. Are you certain he wasn't fixated on someone else? You mean he never confessed? Mary gasped. When I shook my head, she sighed. Can't blame the boy. His father pursued me while still married. By the time his legal wife stormed our home with hired thugs, her fingers whitened around her teacup. Neighbors mocked John. Schoolmates isolated him. He internalized everything until he became this shadow. She led me to John's childhood bedroom, unveiling cardboard archives containing surveillance-style photos of me, captured during campus strolls. Cafeteria lunches. Even tossing trash. My discarded hairpin and empty juice boxes lay preserved in labeled Ziploc bags. A chill crawled up my spine. This feels obsessive. I thought the same. Mary blurted. Until I read his journal entries calling you his guiding light. You motivated him to excel academically. Claw his way up the corporate ladder against his half-brothers. When overwork reduced him to 3-hour sleep cycles. I approached your father. Mr. Peter was moved by his devotion and approved the marriage. Her sudden sobs startled me. I handed tissues, murmuring platitudes about incompatibility. But you're determined to divorce? Her red-rimmed eyes pinned me. Even after knowing how he's loved you since college? The contradiction hit me. If John cherished me so profoundly, why had he pushed me toward Ryan? Then it clicked. He'd never connected Ivy with my current identity. We'll discuss this when he returns. I evaded. Mary didn't press further, resealing her son's shrine to unrequited love before leading me downstairs. She washed a bunch of fruits for me and told me to enjoy them slowly before heading to the kitchen with the housekeeper to cook. Soon John sent a message, "I'm here. Why don't I see you?" Considering his mother had just cried earlier, I decided to give him one last chance to avoid unnecessary drama. Maybe we shouldn't terminate the contract. Let's keep the fake marriage arrangement for a while longer. John? We must cancel it. If you want more compensation, I'll pay extra. If you're still delusional about me, let me make this clear: I'll never like you. We'll never be real spouses. I kept my cool. What if you see me later and suddenly want to pursue me? John snapped fiercely. I'd rather be a dog than chase you. But what if you choose to be that dog anyway? John declared solemnly. Do I look insane? That'll never happen. If it does, I'll kill myself. This idiot was beyond saving. Time to go nuclear. Come home. I'm at your place. Moments later, hurried footsteps approached. I looked up just as John rushed to the doorway. That complicated look he'd given me in the car before reappeared. But now I understood it perfectly. Shock, holy shit. Ivy's here. Delight, hee hee. Seeing Ivy makes me so happy. Panic, where's that damn fake wife? Please don't let her pop up calling me hubby. Anxiety, oh god, Ivy. Don't misunderstand. That contract marriage means nothing. I only like you. John scrambled to take off his shoes while glancing around, clearly searching for his imaginary spouse. After confirming I was alone in the spacious living room, he stood beside me, trembling slightly. Ivy, why are you here? Let me explain. I cut him off. Let me speak first. John smiled expectantly, all attentive ears. Slowly, clearly enunciating every syllable. My name is Ivy Peter. John blinked. I came to divorce you. John's face. After 2 rounds of dramatic eye gymnastics, John froze like a statue. His smile didn't fade, it simply migrated onto my face. I smiled and reached out my hand to him. Where's the termination agreement? Hand it over so I can sign. John was drowning in overwhelming shock and regret. As if making some monumental decision, he suddenly barked, woof woof woof. I don't understand human language. Stop talking. I blinked. Are you planning to chase me like a dog now? Is that okay? John stared intensely into my eyes. Of course, I drawled. John instantly became laser-focused, holding his breath like his life depended on catching every syllable. It's possible. He exhaled explosively, face breaking into an ecstatic grin. I continued calmly. But I need to know, do you plan to neuter yourself first? Or just die outright? John's smile froze into awkward grimace. With the desperate sincerity of a man laying his soul bare, he pleaded. When I told you about the girl I've loved for 10 years, that was you. I've dreamed of marrying you. But I didn't know you were also Ivy. My mother only mentioned Ivy when discussing the arranged marriage. It's not fair to hold my past words against me now. His last sentence dripped with wounded innocence. My smile turned glacial. When I was Ivy, didn't you swear that the bastard who refused to get properly married with me deserved death? John's jaw twitched. Yes. But even without legal papers, I treated you well. Our contract guaranteed $10 million annually. Exactly. My voice sweetened. That's what I told myself too. It's fine because he pays well. John's eyes lit up. hopeful and bashful. I'm relieved you see it that way. I was terrified you'd refuse to give me another chance. My lips curved. Your fear was justified. But it's not me denying opportunities, you're the one sabotaging yourself. He looked bewildered. I arched an eyebrow in mock surprise. Forgotten your own words? That scumbag who throws money around while two-timing deserves worse than death. John's face crumpled. I remember. He rasped. But I said that out of caring for you. I didn't know I was the bastard. I chuckled. Glad you recognize it. But quit looking so tragic. I'm not actually demanding your suicide, leaning closer. I whispered. I just don't want your pathetic clinging. Bring the termination contract for me to sign. John said, tears glistening in his eyes as he stared hungrily at my face. No need. I replied. When I promised not to break my word to you, I meant it. But I hate missing my chance with you like this. Everything I said was just trying to buy myself one more chance to love you while breathing. Since I ruined that chance myself. He grabbed a fruit knife from the table. I'll die now. Ah! I screamed as he pressed the blade to his wrist. He paused. Did I scare you? I'll find another place to die then. John turned to leave, but I yanked his sleeve. Stop this madness. I never asked you to die. I know, he said hoarsely, but a fool like me doesn't deserve to live anyway. Mary rushed into the room at the commotion. She paled seeing the knife in her son's hand. What are you doing with that? Give it to me. John refused, towering over her as he raised the knife high. Mary strained on tiptoes but couldn't reach it. I sighed. If you're this eager to die, you never deserved to like me in the first place. Pain flashed in John's eyes. I know I'm unworthy. That's why I can't become someone who breaks promises. God, you're so stubborn. I pinched my brow. I never said you were unworthy. I meant if you don't value your life over some trivial. Nothing related to you is trivial. John interrupted. This level of hopeless romanticism was terrifying. Yet part of me felt strangely smug. Mary glared at her son. Now you regret it? Where was this determination earlier? John shot her a wounded look. Why didn't you tell me her name was Ivy? Ivy! Her parents call her Ivy. And you forbade me from interfering in your affairs if I hadn't snooped through those photos. Enough. John's voice broke. This isn't your fault. All of this is my own stupidity. Maybe I should have died long ago. That prenatal medicine must have fried my brain to create this idiot. Mary shook her head, giving me a wry smile. Ivy, my son's beyond saving when it comes to you. I'm begging you, give him one more chance. After this lesson, he'll never hurt you again. With Mary pleading like this, and considering John had never actually harmed me, his resistance stemmed from misunderstandings, I relented. We'll see how he behaves. Mary Wilson's face lit up as she turned to John. You heard her. Ivy is giving you another chance. Treat her right this time, if you break her heart again. Don't expect me to defend you. John's gloom instantly dissolved. He lowered his hands, eyes shining as he vowed, I won't let you down. I remained silent. Mary tugged me toward the dining room, and I obliged to spare her feelings. After dinner, she announced she'd prepare the guest room for me. I pulled John aside. I'm not staying. Tell your mother. Why not? He blurted, panic flashing across his face. I smirked. Did you forget? Even without terminating our contract, we're still just pretending to be married. He froze, then brightened. Our agreement requires us to act affectionate around family. Staying here would reassure Mom. Don't weaponize that contract. I scoffed. I can afford the $20 million penalty if I want to walk away. I didn't mean, he swallowed hard. I just want more time with you. Plus, your kitten's here. I thought you'd miss her. Hilarious. Truthfully, if he'd pushed the legal angle, I'd have caved. Wealthy doesn't mean reckless. I've played with the cat. I'm leaving. Let me drive you. No. Why? His voice cracked. Is my presence that repulsive? You promised to let me prove myself, to chase you properly. He stared at me with those liquid dark puppy dog eyes. Lips pressed into a thin line. My fingers itched to ruffle his hair like disciplining an overeager golden retriever. Before I could respond, he whispered, "Is this about Ryan Clark? That tax-evading creep who slept with fans? He's facing decades in prison. Why cling to him?" My gaze sharpened. You knew about Ryan's scandals before the news broke. Did you orchestrate his downfall? He hesitated. I exposed truths, not lies. Does that bother you? I traced the corner of his eye with my thumb. Good boy. A smile bloomed across his face. Thank you, Ivy. I couldn't help but laugh at him. You really want to turn yourself into a puppy that badly? Because I want to make you happy. Fine. I relented. I'll let you take me back to my dad's place. Now that I don't have to terminate the contract with him. I don't want to live alone anymore. The next morning, I came downstairs for breakfast to find John already at our house, sipping tea with my father. Moments later, he walked over jingling faintly and settled beside me. What's making that sound? I asked curiously. He tugged at his collar, revealing a black leather choker with a tiny silver bell. This. My eyes widened. Why are you wearing that? His voice softened obediently. I thought it'd make me more puppy-like. Aren't you afraid people will laugh at you? Who cares about pride when chasing my future wife? My heartbeat quickened. I want strawberries, I said abruptly. John immediately stood. Stay put. But when he brought the washed berries, I lazily pushed the bowl away. Actually, I want strawberry juice now. My father tried intervening as John headed to the blender. John, don't spoil her like this. She's being unreasonable. John smiled warmly. It's no trouble. I want to do things her way. But she changes her mind every minute, then I'll change with her. He said without hesitation. I exist to fulfill her wishes. The moment John left the room, my father gave me an approving nod. Impressive training. You could tell him not to indulge me. Testing his resolve. He chuckled. These days I have to show him respect myself. Had to make sure his devotion was real. Time proved his authenticity. Months later, paparazzi caught the usually cold and dignified CEO kneeling in his luxury car wearing that same collar, complete with a leather tail attachment. The viral photo showed my scarlet stiletto resting on his chest as he gazed up with undisguised adoration. Netizens erupted, LMAO, there goes John being his wife's puppy again. Someone check if he's possessed. Quick! Throw glutinous rice at him. John scrolled through the comments, visibly pleased. He reposted the top tweet with added caption, why y'all acting surprised? If my wife likes puppies, what kind of husband would I be not to become one?